Cheating has always been an issue in academia. In fact, there's a business worth $12 billion that students regularly visit to cheat on their assignments. This business is called Chegg. Despite Chegg's massive market value, they're about to become a small fish in a big pond. This is because of the advent of AI in modern society. The recent advancements in artificial intelligence have revolutionized cheating, and this is because students no longer need to visit websites like Chegg or Coursera. Instead, they can just ask ChatGPT what the answer is on their exam, or better yet, have ChatGPT write their essay for them. So the topic we're exploring today is how bad is cheating in academia, and what do we do about it? With the introduction of large language models like ChatGPT, it's no surprise that students are using it to write their essays or do their assignments. And if you do a quick Google search, you'll notice that ChatGPT is not the only one. There's other ones like Jasper and Writer. But what shocked professors is how well these large language models are at writing essays. According to The Guardian, a professor of journalism at Arizona State University asked AI to handle one of the assignments he gives to students. The professor was surprised at how well the AI performed, stating, "I would have given this a good grade, and academia has some serious issues to confront." Clearly, this is an issue, because if artificial intelligence can do just as good of a job as a good student in college, then what's the difference between just having AI write your essays and being a decent student? And so, according to Forbes, who did a survey on this, more and more students are using artificial intelligence in their assignments. The survey found that 43% of college students overall say they've had experience using AI tools like ChatGPT, and half of those acknowledge turning to those tools to work on assignments or exams. This figure translates into 1 in 5 college students admitting they employ AI to complete their schoolwork. Now let's say, for example, that you're working on a school project with someone else, and that other person does about half of the other work. So that would mean that the other person gets half the credit. Even if the split is like 90-10, let's say it's 95-5. The other person would still get credit for that 5%, especially in like academic papers. Their name would still be on the paper. This is not true for artificial intelligence. Students are using AI to write partial of their essay, even rewriting certain paragraphs in their essay to make it sound better, and they don't give AI credit. So that's why I think it's plagiarism. Just to be on the same page on what plagiarism means, Merriam-Webster defines plagiarism as to steal and pass off the ideas or words of another as one's own. So now that we've established that there's a problem, is there any type of solution ongoing to fix this AI plagiarism problem? And the answer as of right now is yes. So, according to The Hill, Turnitin can detect the use of AI writing tools, including ChatGPT, with 98% confidence. But all this does is incentivize companies like Chegg to make their own AI tools for plagiarism. And the major thing here is that the people who are fighting against plagiarism, like Turnitin, will always be a step behind because they don't know what to check for until the new model comes out. And then when they check for it, there's a new model out already that combats that check. And so there's this back and forth that will never really be resolved. I also find it very important to point out that students who use these AI tools, or even Chegg, or whatever else they may be using to complete their assignments, may not be doing it maliciously. And so here's what I mean. A lot of students who cheat and resort to plagiarism do so because they're going to school full time, and then they have a full-time job, and then they have maybe some like extracurricular as well, like a research project they do with a professor to get into grad school. They have a lot going on at the same time. And so they resort to AI tools to make their homework assignments more efficiently completed, right? And so the major issue here is not that students are cheating. It's also like the expectation on the student that college is very expensive. They need to afford college in some type of way. A lot of students aren't very comfortable with student loan debt because of how damaging it is to you, and how you're basically taking out a mortgage. Like these tuition rates are 50, 60 grand a year. And over 4 years, you're 200 grand in the hole. That's a house. I think the most important thing to acknowledge is that just because some students may cheat, a fraction of those students are cheating not because of malicious intent to get a piece of paper and walk out, but because of time and commitment to the actual degree. In our current grading system, students are incentivized to get a grade, not to learn the material. When you're incentivized by a grade, the optimization path becomes cheating gives me a higher GPA. A higher GPA gives me better internships. Better internships gives me better entry-level jobs, and then my career can take off. And I understand that, but the flaw is that if you cheat, you take the risk of there being holes and gaps in your knowledge. When that happens, you run the risk of not being able to perform at your job. And so I work in artificial intelligence. If I cheated my way through my master's degree, I would be incapable of answering the questions needed to do my job. And I can't imagine other majors cheating. Could you imagine your doctor cheating his way through medical school? Or maybe like an engineer cheating her way through engineering school? That would mean that these college graduates are not competent enough to take on these new roles. And so we've talked about the AI race of plagiarism and countering plagiarism, but is there a better solution? And I think there is one, where we bring back the Socratic method back into college, where the only way you can get a good grade in college is if you read the material and you debate your peers on your perspective. This takes away the AI aspect to doing assignments, and you are forced to engage with the material and show competency, and it forces you to articulate your argument. By forcing students to engage in the Socratic method, there is no faking it. There is no AI that wrote this argument for me. You have to sit down, think about your argument, and think about what others might say about your argument, and the debate will be the deciding factor of how well you're prepared. The major issue with implementing the Socratic method, is that colleges aren't built this way anymore. They are now seemingly businesses where these Big Ten universities bring in like 10,000 students. And do some math. What's 10,000 students times $50,000 a year? And you'll see how much money they're getting in tuition alone. That's not including research money. That's not including grant money to build a new football stadium or donations from people who went to that college and are giving back to that university. There's so much money getting put into the university system that it's bloated. And the solution really isn't clear of how do we bring back academic integrity. I do think that the Socratic method is the way. However, it's not feasible with the current model, because how do you debate 200 students? How do you evaluate that many students en masse? And the solution isn't very clear. That's all for now. Thanks for watching.